Hello YouTube, this is a follow-up to my previous video, Introduction to Intervals. In this video we're going to discuss how to create a scale from any key. We will be making a major key, and this is important because we can stay in tune with our song. And this will keep us from playing out of tune. We can achieve this by following some simple formulas. If you are continuing from the previous video, feel free to go back and recap on what you've learned. Okay, so remember, from any white key on the keyboard, we can move up to the next black key, and then we have a half step. So for example, we can use C and go up to C sharp. This is a half step. You can do this on any white key. So go from one white key up to the neighboring black key, and that is a half step. So from D to D sharp. This is a half step. A couple more. G, G sharp. This is also a half step. Okay, one more. A, we can go down. A flat. This is also a half step. Okay, you can also, just as you can go from one white key to the next white key, this is considered a whole step. You can do the same thing on our black keys. So from C sharp to D sharp, this is a whole step. So this is just like going C to D, C sharp to D sharp. These two are equivalent in distance. Just remember our exceptions. E to F, this is a half step. B to C, this is also a half step. So now that we understand our whole steps and half steps, we may now put to use this formula presented to you on the screen. We have 2 whole steps, followed by a half step, 3 more whole steps, and then a half step. Let's see how this works. So we will be examining the C major scale. Starting on C, we have C, it's a whole step, remember exception here, E to F is a half tone, so we'll proceed from E to F, continuing on, whole step, and half step. B to C is a half step because there is no black key in between B to C. And there we have it, C major. Let's try a different key. Let's see how G major sounds. So, if we want to do G major, we must begin on G. So starting on G, G, whole step, half step. Remember, this is our exception here. B to C is a half step. Proceeding on, whole step, E to F is a half step, but here we have a whole step, so we go from E to F sharp, and half step, back to G, and G major. And there we have it, G major. Okay, one more just for practice. How about D major? Starting on D, whole step. Remember, E to F sharp would be a whole step, half step, continuing, whole step, another whole step, B to C sharp would be a whole step and a half step. D major. Okay, you may have noticed that when we started with our C major, we had absolutely no sharps. But then when we continued on to our G major, we encountered our first sharp. It was F sharp. Okay, so we have one sharp in G major. In D major, we have two sharps. You may be asking yourself, should I remember where the sharps are, or should I always use the formula for the scale? Well, most people choose to memorize how many sharps or which keys are sharp in that key. However, if you should forget where the sharp is, you may use the formula and find out exactly where the sharp is. However, it is recommended that you take the time to find out how many sharps belong in each key. I will post up another video and you may examine just how we can do this. But for now, go ahead and practice using this formula and try to find out more keys on your own. Thank you. Stay tuned. I'll have more videos for you soon.